Hi, hello YouTube. Let me fill you in with a little background. I've been an eBay seller since August of 2018, so right at 6 years. And I started out as a part-time seller, basically just clearing things out around the house. And then I fell in love with reselling, and I did it while I was working a full-time job until I built up a store big enough to retire early. And I reached a little over 10,000 listings. I think at one time I had 12,000 listings. I hang around 10.5 right now, and I list every day, 7 days a week, and my yearly gross sales are right at 300K. So, what I want to cover with you today is how I prep my items for storage, inventory, packing, and shipping, and this is after I've already created drafts and or listed items. So I want to kind of go back a little bit at the beginning here and touch on something. Is the very first item I bought off eBay years ago was I bought a t-shirt, some workout t-shirts, right? And so I bought them off eBay, and then they came in the mail, and they came in the mail like this. This is the way I received the very first item I purchased off eBay. My t-shirt was wadded up into a bag, a little bag, like that. And I remember I got it out, it was wrinkled, it was wadded up into a ball. It wasn't even folded, it was just wadded up in a ball and crammed in the smallest package possible. And I remember when I opened this up, I was just so disappointed. Before I even opened up the shirt to look at it, I had a bad impression of this item. And now this isn't the exact shirt that I bought, but I was really displeased, and I almost returned it just for that reason. And I really did, when I opened it up, I nitpicked it for any little flaws. So, and what I learned from that first transaction after I became a seller is that a customer receives the item they purchase, their first impression changes their attitude, and you receive something nice, well wrapped and packaged, they're less likely to nitpick or return an item because their first impression is, wow, this is nice, this is taken care of. And I launder all my pre-owned items. I launder everything, and I use a delicate cycle, minimal detergent, non-scented detergent, just to make sure they're clean. And then after I create my listings and my drafts, and I'm ready to package them for inventory. And so what I do is I buy these are, I think, 10 by 13 clear plastic bags, and I will buy these in bundles. You can get them, they're really cheap. And an impulse sealer here. These are not very expensive either, maybe about $20. They last forever. You can change the heat strips out when they start to wear. And so anyway, once I've listed my items, I have them stacked up, and I've attached an inventory number in the SKU of the listing. So what I do is I buy these pre-packaged, pre-printed labels here. They're in numerical order, consecutive numerical order, and I do not reuse a number for any reason. I use a number if there's a mistake or I decide not to list that item, or for whatever reason, that number is gone. Because I keep my inventory in consecutive order, and they're all in these boxes here, and they're in numerical order. So it helps on inventory, it helps when I go to find an item, and every so often, every 2 weeks or so, I'll go down and I'll consolidate everything down, and I just add new numbers on the end. So anyway, so I have these pre-printed numbers in my bag and my impulse sealer. And I'll take my item and I fold them up. I fold my shirts up. I'm primarily a men's shirt seller. And I'll fold these items up, put them in the bag, heat seal them. I attach my inventory number, and hope you can see this, a little thank you sticker. You can buy these in bundles. You can get them off eBay. There's other sellers that sell these. You don't have to do this, but it's a nice little touch when the customer gets it. So now I've got my inventory, my number, my presentation is nice, the item looks nice. It sure does beat receiving an item like this. I mean, which one would you rather receive? So you think about the customer's first impression, and it does make a difference. I guarantee you, my negative reviews, when I switched to this, went down, and my positive reviews went up. And I'm the type of seller, I never ask for feedback. I just don't do it. I don't ask for feedback. Just what happens, happens. And if somebody leaves me feedback, I have it set up automatically that they receive feedback. So, and that's how I handle that. And feedback, yes, it's important, but if you have your presentation right and you send in a nice quality item and it's wrapped well, it's packaged well, the customer is less likely to neg you. Okay. Now, when an item sells, I get these poly mailers here. These are 10 by 13, I believe, also. And say like this shirt sold. This is a University of Louisiana. This shirt sold, and so what I do is I went out there and I pulled it from my inventory. 16499 was the number of my SKU, and I went and I pulled it from my inventory, and I pop it in one of these poly mailers here, seal it up, and then I print my label off, and the label goes on, and it's ready to go. Now, when the customer gets this item, like I was saying, they're getting this. It's a nice part bag, and you can get some decorative ones. You can get some colored ones and add a little more. They cost a little bit more per bag, but it's a little nicer when the customer receives it because they get a nice package. I have some shiny gold ones that I'll use sometimes. But anyway, so the customer gets the package. They pull it out. Boom. There it is. It's nice. It's sealed. It's clean. It's got a thank you sticker on it. It looks a little more professional, and it's sealed in there. So this is good for when you're storing your stuff in your inventory with a sealed bag. If you just have your stuff hanging or thrown in boxes, or some people use pile on the floor. That's how I started, was a pile on the floor. I had a 2 process and a process pile on the floor before I went to hanging and then finally to this system. But the problem with the other systems is dust or dirt or even smells can permeate. So when I seal these things, they're as clean and fresh as the day that I packaged them. And that's the way the customer receives it. Even if it's sat in inventory for a year, 6 months to a year, the customer gets it. It's nice. I don't have to do anything to it, and it makes it a lot quicker when you go to pull something from inventory. I knew that number. I have that number. I pull my have my phone with me, and I'm looking at my solds, and I list them. Sort. You can sort by SKU on your order pickup on your phone, and it put them in your numerical order, and then I just go down the boxes. And don't worry about these outside numbers. This is an old system I used to use. But inside are my numerical numbered shirts, or sometimes pants, my items. But anyway, everything's numbered, and you can see down the row here how I do my inventory. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of these shelves here with inventory. And what I've got is I bought these shelves at Home Depot, and they hold 3 boxes on each shelf. I believe these are 10 by 10 by 20 boxes, and I got 5 rows. I usually only go up 4 rows, and the top is for overflow stuff. But anyway, so I can hold 12 boxes here with an average of like 20 items in each box. So that is 240 items, so approximately 250 items per shelf. And it's a good way to get your inventory organized and get it ready. So when you go to pull orders, I mean, I'm telling you, I go right over there, numerical order. I don't lose stuff as often. If you want to do an inventory or set up a tracking system, you've got it because it's in numerical order. You can go through. There are times when eBay's system, your items automatically renew after 30 days. They automatically relist, and I've had instances where an item has just disappeared. It didn't relist. It didn't populate when they did their deal. And so when I go through and do my inventory, occasionally I'll find 2, 3, 4, 5 items that didn't repopulate, and I have to relist them. But I can usually go back and find them, and then just do a self-similar to them. So, and that's another thing that I do also is if I get a return, say like this, the customer buys this shirt and it comes back as didn't fit. Now I include the manufacturer's tag, size, and I take a photo. My photographs show chest and length with a ruler, so the measurements are in there. So, but still, there are times where a customer will buy something and it doesn't fit and they return it. Okay, so I accept the return. Now there's nothing wrong with this item. It's just didn't fit the customer. So I'm going to, it was returned, I've refunded the customer, I'm going to resell it. So I don't just put this back in inventory with the same number. What I do is after I process the return, I uncheck the relist box. I don't want it relisted. So I go ahead and I refund. I do not relist it, but I go in there and I pick the item up off my sold list and do a sell similar. So I do a sell similar. I have all my photographs, all my original listing. It's there. The only thing I have to change is my SKU. And at that time, that item that was returned gets a brand new SKU number because it's being put in inventory at a later date. I'm not going to go back and shove it back in the back there. And so a return that's going to be resold, or an item that I need to put back in inventory that's come out of inventory for any reason. But sometimes I'll pull items from here and sell them in my brick and mortar. And sometimes I'll take the step that at my brick and mortar didn't sell, I'll bring it back here, because sometimes things trend. Clothing trends. Sometimes there's an item that will sell at my store that won't sell necessarily quickly on eBay, and vice versa. And sometimes it's seasonal, sometimes it's just popularity. It could be, as much I sell a lot of sports themed items, and it has a lot to do with the popularity of the team. Like when a team's winning, their stuff sells. There's an increase in sales when a team is winning. When a team is losing and been losing for quite a while, their sales of their shirts and sweaters and hoodies and stuff with logos, that goes down. So, but anyway, you get a team with a winning streak, it's something to key in on. So I sell a lot of logo stuff and a lot of fishing and outdoor stuff. But so anyway, this is how I process my inventory, my items that are listed. This is how I store and I keep them. And when I switch to this method, it's made it so much quicker and easier. When I go to pick up my solds every morning and I'm shipping 30 to 40 items out every day, 7 days a week. I take back, I don't ship on Sundays, but Monday mornings I'm picking 2 days worth. I can go through here and boom, boom, boom. I can pull all my solds in usually less than 10 minutes, and I've got everything there, and it's so easy to find because I know it's in order. I know where the item is, and it cuts down on your misplaced items. So you don't have to cancel an order, which is it's a bad gig for you, it hurts your performance. And then it's easy, it saves me time, because time is money. The less time that I'm spending on finding an item, packing and shipping, that's time that I can spend listing an item or sourcing a new item. And I'm gonna go later on, I'm gonna come on with some tips. I've got some tips on some bolos. I got a bolo that is overlooked right now. It's an under-recognized, underutilized market, and that's one of my biggest markets. But I want to see how this channel does and how things go before I give away that secret, because I would really hate to give this secret away and there's a big uptick on sales and I have more competition, because this is my livelihood. And I'm not, like I say, I'm not going to hide things, but before I divulge in something that I do, then I want to make sure that it's going to benefit the most people. Granted, it's going to hurt my sales, but I would like the views also, and I hope this video has helped you. I hope it's something you can use, and there'll be more content coming out. And please like, subscribe, comment, give me some pluses, minuses. If you've got something negative to say, give it to me. Tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. And I'm going to cut this off right now. And you sellers out there, have a good day selling and stay sharp.